I'm back at Fancher Davidge Park. It is March 11th, and apparently it snowed last night. I'd planned on walking through here and possibly checking out the trails in the back, and also testing out a wired microphone I have. And as you can hear, the crows are just absolutely going crazy. Currently I have the microphone actually tucked inside my sweater in the hopes that it will block some of the wind noise. But as I said, we'll see. And if we're lucky, I can make it all the way around to the back part of the lake and check out that trail that I wasn't able to record last time. Let's see here if I can show that on camera and just listen as I walk past. Yeah. Yep. But it's not too bad. And you can hear the geese. So now I'm gonna walk over to this trail, which is kind of in the back. We'll see if I can actually make it through there. And forgive the sniffling. It's warm, but not that warm. All right, so let's record this here. So yeah, I don't know what these little, I don't know if this is what this is from. Almost looks like somebody shot at this thing, maybe with a pellet gun or something. That would be disappointing if that was the case. But all right, so I know it doesn't look like much, but that's the start of the trail. So that little log right there is gonna guide you, and then they kind of put those logs and branches to kind of give you an idea. The last time I came through here was probably a year ago, maybe longer, and at some point the trail just disappeared. So either they weren't maintaining it, or maybe they moved some things around. I'm not quite sure. Hopefully we don't get lost in there. It's not like you can actually get lost. I mean, if you tried, you could, but it's not that hard. You just know to go back uphill and you end up on this park. Whether it's at the start of the trail or all the way that way, that's a different story. But once you're here, see, this is another little side trail that actually loops that way. So when done correctly, you can actually go down this way, go through the trail, and then you actually come back out this way. Now there's these little markers every so often, but I don't think they've been keeping up with it, at least not since the last time I was here. Now it is muddy, but it's not terrible. Again, if you're not wearing boots, you're probably not going to be comfortable. But it's not like loose ground right now. As you can see, another little marker. But at some point they do disappear as you go further down. Now I know that they are at least planning to, or were planning to, connect this park and this wetland over here to a part of the park that's further back. It's not really part of the park, but it's going to become it. They're building a football field and I believe it's a track. And at least according to the last story I read, which was like supposed to be in 2018, they're going to connect the trails. But we will see. Now, the last time I was here was summertime, which meant everything was overgrown, making it very hard to see beyond, at least beyond the path. But now that everything has died down, you can see everything. Now, it's hard for you on camera to see, because everything is, because of the angle, everything seems further away than it actually is. But this is pretty interesting. So this road here, I think, is part of the whole construction that they were doing. So they were using this road to get the vehicles back and forth. Notice, I don't know if you can see it in the distance, but they have giant concrete, I don't know what you would call that, culverts, blocking it so people can't drive in, I guess. But I can see a road behind these trees, which I've never noticed before. I don't know if that is considered like a restricted area, private property. I'm not gonna take a chance and walk over there and get caught up. I think I can see lights in the distance, and if I'm correct, that might actually be where the football field is that they're building. I could also be completely wrong, and it could be something else. Again, I'm not gonna walk over there and risk getting arrested for something silly like trespassing. But this is the large swamp. So if you look in on like Google Maps or something, you would see the park, Fancher Davidge Park, and then behind it you would see this wetland, and then towards the left you would see that main road. That main road borders what's going to be the football field. Don't know if they've updated the maps to represent that yet. But here's where the trail continues. So we came from there, straight through there. This is that road. If I were to walk that way until left, I'd end up back in the parking lot. I know that at least. And then this is where the trail continues. I know this because it's marked, as you can see. And then this would be the rough, rocky trail that they talk about. And it is pretty rocky. Try to angle this down a little bit. Too much. Now, I'm still getting the hang of this gimbal. So we continue here through this trail. This is a big hole. I'm guessing it was a fallen tree, uprooted tree. They got rid of the tree, but they didn't fill in the hole. And as you can see, let's recenter this. I don't know if it's going to pick up on camera. It's getting kind of dark. Freshwater wetlands is what that sign says. And again, this is kind of where the trail just unfortunately fizzles out. I know where it's supposed to go, but there's no clear markings guiding you there. In the summertime, this is completely overgrown, so you don't really see anything. You barely can see the water. This is a much larger body of water than the actual park's lake. I have no idea what they're going to do with it, if they're going to do anything. It would be nice to see that they can do something with it. But for all I know, this could also be private property, the lake anyway. Or it could be owned by some other entity, maybe a company or something. Now, I don't know if you can hear it in the distance, but those are cars passing by. The main road is just over there, which would make me think that that football field is also over there. Now, as you can see, a lot of fallen trees. Unfortunately, every time there's a heavy rainstorm, these trees just get knocked over. The ground gets wet, can't hold onto the tree anymore. And then as the weight of the top of the tree pulls it, it just falls right over. And I could tell no one's really been through here, besides the fact that there's no footprints. The markings are gone. There's no markings. There's a lot of fallen trees. It's very hard to tell where the path is supposed to be. I'm doing this by memory, but at some point I am going to lose track, because this trail loops back onto that main road that we just saw. And once it does that, it kind of, you know, everything disappears. It's hard to tell what's what. And someone got creative and carved out a little bench here. But yeah, now I don't know where to go. All these fallen trees, all these logs. Somebody's been through here enough to cut them, but they didn't remove them. So I don't know where the path actually is. I don't think it's that way because there's a lot of these thorny bushes there. And if it was, somebody would have cleared that, unless, as I said, they just haven't done anything around here. So I'm gonna just try to walk through here. I can see the road from here. Now, hopefully I don't fall. I'm holding this camera with one hand right now to balance with the other. And yeah, I have no idea if the path is supposed to keep going that way or if it comes up here. And there are a lot of these little thorny bushes. Alright. So at this point I'm confident that I'm no longer on the path. But I am back on the main road. And as you can see, all that walking that I did, that little circular walk, I'm pretty much at the same place that I started. That right there's where I started from. So we're gonna walk this way, and I'm gonna hope to find some kind of marker. Ah, there it is. Okay, so I guess I wasn't too far off. So here's the marker for the trail. Now, the question is it to the left of that sign or the right? Because I can't tell. I think it should be through here, this little tiny trail. Let's kind of angle down. Here we go. Yeah, and I'm pointing. I think it's supposed to be this little tiny path, which is now completely covered by fallen trees. Hopefully somebody will come out here in the spring and clean this up so it's usable again. Now, the trail is supposed to come through here and then come back and go somewhere in there, but I don't see any markers. It might be a little further down this road, I'm not sure. I mean, that's a nice wide open space there, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's man-made or meant to be a trail. And I don't see anything else. We'll walk a little bit further down. Ah, I see it now. Okay. I'm gonna give you a second to try and find it. Where do you think that is? That path is? It's right there. So I only see it because there's a tiny yellow diamond on that tree, which we'll see in a moment. And then when you look down, ooh, I almost killed myself. When you look down, you can see this right here. That's going to be one of those trees, little stumps that they put down. And as you can see, there's more of them. And it looks, nope, those are their tracks. Okay, so you can kind of see the outline from here. It has not been kept. No one's taken care of this. Okay, so that's the little yellow diamond that I was talking about. And I see another one in the distance, but I'm following this path right now. This one's not too bad. And if you're in the area and you actually come over to take a look at this, you can get a good walk out of this. What is that? So you're not going to see it because it's too far away for the camera. But either that's a large bird, like maybe a really big goose, paddling through the water. I mean, it's leaving a pretty large wake behind it. They might have beaver around here, I'm not sure. I'll come back hopefully in the spring or summer and try to get a better look. I'll start recording once I get over here. But for now, let's try to follow. Let's try to follow this path, which I'm not doing. I don't know if it's raining or if it's. No, it's definitely raining. Of course, it's raining. Yeah, this is not the best day for this, but I'm already here. So as you can see, this is. It's not very inviting, unfortunately. Now, I have no idea where to go from here. I'm looking, that looks like it could be a path, but then again, so does that. And I don't see any markers anymore. I mean, I know I'm not that far away from the actual park because I can see a building in the background. That's the only positive about walking through here at this time of year. You can actually see pretty far in. But I'm gonna walk this way because I see some trees down here that could be a path. I see a birdhouse on the ground. I don't know where that came from. Yeah, don't know where that came from. But all right. Ah, I see a marker. It's just on the opposite side. Of course, it's gonna make it difficult. This is how you know you're getting old, when you see something like this, and when you see something like that, and you feel like that's a big obstacle. When you're younger, you just fly right over this. Not a care in the world. And yes, I know I'm complaining. I turned 40 recently, and it hit me like a ton of bricks, as they say. See, that's the marker there. And this is the path. I can tell because, again, the trees on each side, or the large branches, I should say, on each side. So it's not too bad. It's not going to require a lot of work to actually clean this up. But if they wait until summer, when everything's overgrown, then it's going to be twice as hard. So really, they should be doing it now, or early spring. And in the distance, you might be able to see right where my finger's pointing, all the way in the back, you might be able to see a tiny yellow band. That's one of those, the frisbee golf, the disc golf, there you go. One of those little goals. So we're probably already back into the main part of the park. And again, these are those little markers to help guide you through here. Now what I'll do is, once I'm done with this video and I get home, I'm gonna compare the audio from the microphone to the audio on the camera. And I'm gonna use whichever one is best for the main part, and I'll try to edit in somewhere the comparison of the two. So, 5 seconds of this is what it sounds like with the wired mic, this is what it sounds like with the camera mic. We'll do one of those. Again, there's another marker. So we're back on the trail now. There's no question about it. This is looping us back to where we started. It's not a very long trail. But if you actually follow it the way it's supposed to go, through, past the wetland, it's pretty decent. You get a good amount in there. Now, the only thing is, they have so much that they could have expanded to make this trail. Now, again, from the news article that I read online, which was dated at 2018, this was supposed to be done by 2019, by the way. They didn't start, I think, until 2020 or 2021, and they're definitely not close to finished. They're focusing more on that football field, but they were supposed to create trails that connect the football field to this part of the park. So I'm assuming that means that it's either going to run this way around the water or it's going to run the other way. But they were also going to expand these trails. They definitely have the space for it. The question is, do they have the budget? Do they have the incentive to actually come in here and build this? So now the path is much clearer. On this side it's wider. It's not as of an incline. It's fairly flat. Easy to navigate through here. The hard part was pretty much back there by the water, which we ended up bypassing most of it anyway. There's another marker there. Now we are in the back of that I guess it's a garage, where apparently they're storing a lot of barrels. Wonder why. And there's a school bus in the distance too. That's not usually there. Again, another marker. You'd be surprised how helpful those little tiny yellow, bright yellow markers are. What was that? Is that a deer? Oh, that's a deer. Yeah. Is it the same deer from before? Who knows? This park has quite an abundance of deer. Yeah, I see what looks like two small ones and a large one. So I'm guessing two babies and the mama. And they're looking at me like if I'm some kind of crazy animal. They're not wrong. I don't know if you can see them. This camera has a very wide angled lens, so it's kind of hard to. I'm lining it right up with it, so they should be right there. You might be able to see the movement. I might be able to, when I edit this, kind of zoom in on it. It's gonna make it very blurry, but it'll probably show. And we're almost back to the start. Now, if you were using this for exercise, let's say, you could just kind of match this up with the rest of the park. Like in the previous video, you would start at the parking lot, work your way around, loop back and forth, walk around the lake maybe once, and then the same way I came to this part, you would walk from the lake, come in here, loop back around here, and then go back into the parking lot. Now, what I have noticed, even in the summertime, it's just like this. There's barely anyone out. Today's Saturday. It's yes, I know the weather is horrible, but even in the summertime, maybe a handful of people at best, which is probably why the city of Middletown is not so enthusiastic about adding more stuff to this park, since there's barely anybody that comes to use it. Which, again, is both a positive and a negative. Because if you're like me, you like walking through a park like this without anyone around. But at the same time, it's gonna get neglected. And I'm still surprised that even now, there's so many different birds. They're tiny, so you barely see them. What is that? I think that's a robin. Probably won't see it. It's just up on a branch over there. Yep, there's another one. Probably didn't see that one either. I promise you they were there. So right now, we came from that direction. And you can see that we're back at the start. Not quite. That right there, that's the path that we were walking on. And right up there is the start. So we're about to loop back into it. So not a very long trail. Again, they could make it very easily. They can make it longer, or at the very least expand it so that you have the option. All right, so that's where we started, where I said that if we would come back this way, which we have, and that's where we went through. And if you decided you can take a walk that way, end up at one of those pavilions, which, let's do that. Why not? I don't think I've actually been in those. Let's see what this is. This is a nice open space. It's a paved little area. Don't know if that was meant to be like a parking area at some point. Oh. So I'm walking through inches deep worth of leaves. So my feet are going pretty deep in. It's not wet, it's mostly just dead leaves. Now, what am I looking? Huh. See, even now I still find things that I didn't know about. Now here's my question. This is all wooded, right? Aside from the pavilion part and that little paved part that doesn't seem to have anything with it. But why would you have that? I don't know if you can see it. And that looks new, fairly new. That's a spotlight or floodlight, and it's LEDs. I can see them from here. Big LED lights on it, and I can see that there's a wire going from that light. Let's see if I can. There we go. Going to that pole over there, and then going back over to this pavilion. So I'm guessing it gets the electricity from the pavilion, because I don't see any solar panels. But why have that light pointed to illuminate this area? First off, why have that light at all when this park closes at dusk and you're not allowed to be in here? Questions. Interesting questions. Now, between these two pavilions, which again I've never noticed before, is a utility pole and two more of those new LED spotlights or floodlights. Since I've never really been through here or taken the time to look at this, I don't know when they put this. That pole has another one facing the parking lot. Now, could it just be set up so that it's illuminated so that, you know, if a police car passes through, they can see if somebody's here? And what is this? Is this some kind of water? What is this? Yeah, it looks like some kind of... Let me not play with that. I'm assuming if you lift it up, water's gonna come out. Why is that there? Huh. Now, this is barbecue stuff, so that you can rent these and have little parties and do barbecues. I don't know if you're meant to be able to use that for water. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they tell you all that when you actually rent it or reserve it. But you can see, if I can get this to pan up, why is this? All right, it's a little off calibration's a little off on this gimbal. I haven't had a chance to recalibrate it, but those look fairly new. So I don't know why this is here. Again, I don't think it's so that people can actually come over here at night, because they're not supposed to, which is also a shame, because why close at dusk when once the summer's over, dusk can be as early as 5 o'clock, maybe even earlier. Doesn't make sense. And this has a lot of light in it. And by light, I mean light fixtures. Let me explain that, because it's pretty dark in here right now. But there's a fixture there. There's another one there. Those look like they're LED and probably pretty bright. This park is, aside from the 2 cars parked in the parking lot and the people that are just sitting in the cars, which I always think is suspicious, there's no one here. This is completely empty. Now, I'm assuming some workers in that garage, because the gate is wide open. There's a vehicle in there. Don't really know what it's for though, other than, I mean, it just says City of Middletown on it. But as you can see, we're back in this area. There's the lake over there. There's the little corral for the horses, or when they do horse shows. And yeah, so really I just wanted to show you that trail and test this microphone. So I'm going to probably end the video here, because I gotta walk back to my car and then get home, and it is gonna get dark fast. So let's end it on this view here. So if you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more like this, subscribe. And if you want to see specific things, leave a comment and tell me what you want to see. Maybe I can get it done. But for now, I'm gonna say take care, and hopefully I'll see you next time.